My phone buzzed at 3 a.m., jolting me awake from a restless sleep. It was Sophia, my girlfriend of 2 years. Multiple messages came through, each more desperate than the last. My heart raced as I opened them, concern quickly turning to disbelief. There on my screen, I am at Jake's house. Come pick me up or we are done. Jake. My friend Jake, with the pregnant wife. I felt sick as the betrayal sank in. Before I tell you what happened next, let me know where you are watching from. Hit that like and subscribe button if you have ever had that gut feeling something was wrong in your relationship. Trust me, what I did next changed everything. I met Sophia at a barbecue hosted by mutual friends 2 summers ago. She caught my attention immediately with her laugh that seemed to light up the entire backyard. With her auburn hair and quick wit, I was drawn to her like a magnet. We bonded over shared interests in true crime podcasts and hiking trails around our city. That night we talked until everyone else had gone home, and I knew there was something special between us. Our relationship progressed naturally and happily. We moved from casual dating to something more serious within months. Sophia was smart, ambitious, and working on her master's degree in marketing. I had just established myself as a software engineer at a growing tech company. We complemented each other well, and for the first year and a half, everything felt perfect. We discussed future plans like traveling to Japan, adopting a dog together, and eventually buying a house in the suburbs. The relationship felt solid, dependable, and full of promise, but things started shifting about 3 to 4 months before that fateful night. Subtle changes at first, almost imperceptible. Sophia began canceling plans more frequently. Our conversations grew shorter, more superficial. When we were together, she was constantly checking her phone, smiling at texts from people I did not know. When I asked who she was talking to, the answer was always just friends from school or work colleagues. She became increasingly critical of me too. My jokes that once made her laugh were suddenly immature. My apartment that she had helped decorate was now messy and embarrassing. The shows we enjoyed watching together became boring. It felt like nothing I did was right anymore. I tried talking to her about these changes, but she dismissed my concerns, accusing me of being needy and insecure. Part of me worried she might be right. Maybe I was reading too much into things. Maybe her stress from graduate school was affecting our relationship. I wanted to believe in us and what we had built together, so I pushed my suspicions aside and tried harder to make her happy. Jake Wilson was someone I knew from college. We had been close during those years, sharing a dorm room for 2 semesters and taking many of the same computer science classes. After graduation, we maintained our friendship, though we saw each other less frequently as adult responsibilities took over. He got a job at a financial software company while I went into web development. 3 years ago, Jake met Amber at a tech conference. They had a whirlwind romance and got married after only 6 months of dating. I was surprised by how quickly it happened, but they seemed happy together. Amber was sweet, intelligent, and grounded in a way that complemented Jake's more impulsive personality. She worked as a pediatric nurse and had a nurturing nature that everyone noticed. When I started dating Sophia, the 4 of us occasionally got together for dinner or game nights. Initially, these hangouts were fun and relaxed, but something changed in the past few months. I noticed glances between Jake and Sophia that lasted too long. Inside jokes I was not part of. Times when they both disappeared to get drinks from the kitchen and returned looking slightly flushed. One particular night stands out in my memory. We were at Jake and Amber's house for dinner about 2 months before the text message incident. Amber, now 5 months pregnant, had gone to bed early, leaving the 3 of us in the living room. Jake suggested opening another bottle of wine. As he poured, his hand brushed against Sophia's, and I saw something in her eyes, a spark that used to be reserved for me. I dismissed these observations, telling myself I was being paranoid. Jake was married with a baby on the way. He had always been a bit of a flirt, even in college, but surely he would not cross that line. And Sophia, despite our recent troubles, had always spoken about loyalty as something she valued highly. The day before I received that 3 a.m. text, everything seemed normal on the surface. I was working late on a project deadline, coding furiously to fix bugs before the morning review. Sophia called around 6 p.m. to cancel our dinner plans, explaining she was having a girls' night with classmates to celebrate the end of midterms. "Do not wait up," she told me. "We will probably be out late, and I might crash at Lisa's place if it gets too late." I wished her a good time, trying to ignore the slight slur in her words that suggested she had already started drinking. After hanging up, I returned to my work, but concentration became difficult. Something about her voice had sounded off. Not just the alcohol, but something else I could not quite identify. Later that evening, I took a break and scrolled through social media. None of Sophia's friends had posted anything about a girls' night. In fact, Lisa, who Sophia mentioned she might stay with, had posted a photo of herself at the airport flying to visit her parents for the weekend. Around 10 p.m., Sophia sent a text, "Having so much fun, miss you." I replied asking how everyone was doing specifically, mentioning Lisa. She responded, "Lisa says hi." That was when I knew with certainty that she was lying, but I still had no idea where she really was or who she was with. I went to bed around midnight, my mind racing with possibilities, none of them good. Sleep came in restless bursts until my phone buzzed at 3 a.m., with messages that would change everything. The screen of my phone illuminated my darkened bedroom as I read Sophia's messages in disbelief. "Matthew, are you awake? I need you to come get me. I am at Jake's house. Please come now. I am at Jake's house. Come pick me up or we are done." My hands shook as I stared at these words. Jake's house, where his pregnant wife Amber should be sleeping. My mind raced through possibilities, trying to find an innocent explanation, but finding none. I checked the location Sophia had shared, confirming what I already knew in my gut. She was indeed at Jake and Amber's suburban home at 3 in the morning. I sat up in bed, my heart pounding against my ribs. The betrayal hit me in waves. Not just Sophia's betrayal of our relationship, but Jake's betrayal of Amber. Sweet, kind Amber, who was 7 months pregnant with their first child. For a brief moment, I considered getting dressed and driving there. The part of me that still loved Sophia wanted to rescue her from whatever situation she had gotten herself into. But another part, a stronger part, recognized this moment for what it was: not a one-time mistake, but the culmination of months of lies and deception. With a clarity that surprised me, I typed my response, "We are done then." My phone immediately rang. Sophia calling. I declined it. She called again and again. I turned the ringer off. Text messages flooded in. "You cannot be serious. Please, Matthew, just come get me. I can explain everything. Do not do this to me. Jake and I were just talking. Amber is at her sister's house." That last message confirmed everything. She knew Amber was not home. This was planned. I sat in the darkness, a strange calm settling over me as I made a decision that would change multiple lives. I took screenshots of all of Sophia's messages, including the location data showing her at Jake's house. Then I searched my contacts for Amber's number. We were not close, but we had exchanged information once for a surprise birthday party for Jake. I hesitated before sending the evidence to Amber. Was this the right thing to do? She was pregnant, vulnerable. Would knowing the truth hurt her more than help her? But then I thought about her future, about raising a child with a man who could betray her like this. She deserved to know the truth to make informed decisions about her life. I composed a simple message to accompany the screenshots. "Amber, I am sorry to send this to you in the middle of the night, but I thought you should know what is happening. I just found out myself. If you need anything, let me know." After sending the message, I set my phone aside. I had just ended a 2-year relationship and potentially a marriage as well. Yet instead of regret, I felt an odd sense of relief. The weight of suspicion and uncertainty that had been growing for months was finally lifted. The situation was painful, but at least now I was dealing with the truth. Amber responded within minutes. "Thank you for telling me. I am at my sister's house because we had a fight about him staying out late recently. Now I know why. I am going home right now." More messages came from Sophia, increasingly frantic. "Why are you not answering me? Please just talk to me. I made a mistake. I love you." I turned off my phone completely. There was nothing more to say tonight. I lay back down, staring at the ceiling, sleep now completely impossible. My mind replayed moments from the past months. Red flags. I had ignored excuses I had accepted. The pieces were falling into place, painting a picture of deception that had been right in front of me all along. I decided to take the next day off work. Whatever was coming, I would need time and space to process it. As the first light of dawn filtered through my blinds, I turned my phone back on, ready to face the consequences of the night's revelations. By 7 a.m., my phone had nearly exploded with notifications. 27 missed calls from Sophia, 15 from Jake, 5 text messages from Amber thanking me again and updating me on what had happened. According to Amber, she had driven straight to her house and used her key to enter quietly around 4 a.m. She found Jake and Sophia in the living room, partially dressed and drinking wine. The confrontation had been brief but intense. She had thrown them both out, immediately telling Jake to get his things and not come back. I had just finished reading these messages when someone started pounding on my apartment door. I knew who it was before I even checked the peephole. Sophia stood in the hallway, mascara streaked down her face, wearing the same clothes from yesterday. "I know you are in there, Matthew. Please open the door. Please, I have nowhere else to go." I considered ignoring her, but my neighbors did not deserve the disturbance. Taking a deep breath, I opened the door, but blocked the entrance with my body. "You cannot come in," I said calmly, surprising myself with my steady voice. "How could you do this to me?" she demanded, her tone instantly shifting from pleading to accusatory. "You ruined everything. You had no right to message Amber." "No right. Like you had no right to cheat on me with my friend. Like Jake had no right to cheat on his pregnant wife." My voice remained level, but I felt a surge of anger rising within me. "It is not what you think," she insisted, trying to push past me into the apartment. "Jake and I were just talking. I was emotional about us, about how distant you have been lately. He was comforting me, that is all." At 3 in the morning, with his pregnant wife conveniently away, I shook my head. "Stop lying, Sophia. It is over. There is nothing you can say to fix this." Neighbors began peering out of their apartments at the commotion. Mrs. Henderson from across the hall stepped into the hallway in her bathrobe, concern etched on her face. "Everything okay out here, Matthew? Everything is fine, Mrs. Henderson." Sophia was just leaving. "I have nowhere to go," Sophia cried, tears streaming down her face again. "Jake's wife kicked us out and changed the locks. My roommate is out of town. Please just let me stay until I figure things out." "That is not my problem," I replied, the coldness in my voice surprising even me. "Call a friend. Call your family. Call Jake. But do not call me again." As I closed the door, she shouted through it, "Fine. You know what? It has been going on for months. Jake loves me. He was going to leave Amber for me anyway. Once I got you out of the picture." I leaned against the closed door, letting her words sink in. Months. It had been going on for months. All those times she was studying late or out with friends. All those unexplained absences and suspicious behaviors. The clarity was both devastating and liberating. Later that day, through mutual friends, I learned more details. The affair had started 4 months ago after a chance meeting at a coffee shop. What began as innocent catching up quickly escalated into secret meetings and elaborate lies. Jake had allegedly promised Sophia he would leave Amber after the baby was born, claiming his marriage had been troubled for years. The most painful revelation was discovering that several of our mutual friends had known about the affair but said nothing. They claimed they did not want to get involved or hurt me. Their silence felt like another betrayal piled onto an already overwhelming situation. The next few days brought an onslaught of fallout. Jake made desperate attempts to reconcile with Amber camping outside her sister's house until they threatened to call the police. Sophia alternated between angry accusations and tearful pleas for forgiveness. She showed up at my workplace, once creating such a scene that security had to escort her out. Our friend group fractured along loyalty lines. Some people distanced themselves from the entire situation. Others reached out to offer support, admitting they had suspected something but never had proof. A few tried to convince me to forgive Sophia, suggesting that everyone makes mistakes. These last ones I promptly removed from my life. Perhaps the most surprising development was a message from Jake's brother Tyler, someone I had met only a few times. "I want you to know I respect what you did," he wrote. "Jake has always gotten away with this kind of behavior because people cover for him. Amber deserved to know the truth. We are all supporting her through this." As the dust began to settle, I gained clarity about just how manipulated I had been. Sophia had not only cheated, but had been actively gaslighting me for months, making me question my own perceptions and instincts. Jake, someone I had considered a friend for years, had betrayed both me and his wife without apparent remorse. The hardest part was acknowledging that, despite everything, a part of me still loved Sophia, or at least the person I thought she was. But that person did not exist. Perhaps she never had. The process of untangling our lives proved almost as painful as the betrayal itself. Sophia had accumulated quite a collection of items at my apartment over our 2 years together. Clothes, books, jewelry, toiletries, kitchen gadgets she had insisted we needed. Each item now felt tainted, a reminder of what I had lost, not just a relationship, but my trust in my own judgment. I could not bear to see her again, so I arranged for our mutual friend Daniel to act as an intermediary. He was one of the few people who had expressed genuine regret for not telling me his suspicions about the affair. As a gesture of making amends, he offered to help with the exchange of belongings. "She is a mess, man," Daniel told me after the first exchange. Living on her friend Tasha's couch. Jake apparently ghosted her after Amber refused to take him back. He is staying with his parents and trying to get into marriage counseling. I felt no satisfaction at hearing about their suffering. The whole situation was just sad, a wasteland of poor choices and broken trust with no real winners. The only person I truly felt sorry for was Amber, whose life had been upended at what should have been a joyful time preparing for her baby's arrival. Reminders of Sophia lingered everywhere. The Thai restaurant where we had our first date, the hiking trail we frequented on Sunday mornings. Even certain songs on the radio could ambush me with memories, leaving me momentarily breathless with grief. Not grief for Sophia herself, but for the future I thought we were building together. The loneliness was crushing at times. I had grown accustomed to sharing my daily life with someone, to having a person who was interested in my thoughts and experiences. Now my apartment felt too quiet, too empty. I would catch myself reaching for my phone to text her about something funny or interesting, only to remember that option was gone. Therapy became my lifeline. My company offered 8 free sessions as part of our benefits package, and I took full advantage of them. Dr. Reeves helped me process not just the betrayal but also the shame I felt for not recognizing the signs sooner. "You trusted because you are trustworthy," she told me. "That speaks to your character, not your intelligence." Gradually, I started reconnecting with friends I had neglected during my relationship with Sophia. My college roommate Brandon convinced me to join his basketball league. My cousin Ellie introduced me to her book club, where I was the only male member, but found unexpected solace in literary discussions and wine. About 3 weeks after everything imploded, I received a text from an unknown number. It was Amber. "I never properly thanked you for telling me the truth. It was the hardest thing to hear, but I needed to know. If you ever want to grab coffee, I would like to thank you in person." We met at a quiet cafe far from our usual haunts. Her pregnancy was more visible now, her face tired but resolved. "The doctors were concerned about my blood pressure after everything happened," she explained, "but the baby is doing fine. It is a girl." "I am sorry for how everything turned out," I said, feeling inadequate. "Do not apologize," she insisted. "You did the right thing. Most people would have just picked her up and never told me. You gave me the chance to make decisions based on the truth." She paused, stirring her decaf coffee. "I have filed for divorce. My lawyer thinks we can expedite it before the baby comes. How are you managing? One day at a time." My sister has been amazing. And honestly, as horrible as this has been, I would rather know now than years down the road with multiple children involved. Her strength amazed me. As we parted ways, Amber hugged me. "We are going to be okay, you know. Both of us. We deserve better than what they were offering." 3 months after that night, my life had found a new rhythm. I had moved to a different apartment, unable to shake the memories in my old place. The change of scenery helped clear my mind and represent the fresh start I needed. Work became a positive focus. I threw myself into projects, earning recognition from my managers, and even a promotion. The structured problem-solving of coding offered a refreshing contrast to the messy, unresolvable problems of my personal life. News about Jake and Sophia trickled in through the grapevine. Their relationship had collapsed spectacularly once the excitement of secrecy was removed. Jake's company, which prided itself on family values, had pushed him out after the scandal became common knowledge through office gossip. He was now working for a smaller firm at a significantly reduced salary. Sophia had made multiple attempts to reconcile with me, each more desperate than the last. Flowers delivered to my office. Heartfelt emails about how she had made the biggest mistake of her life. A handwritten letter detailing her therapy journey and newfound self-awareness. I read them all but never responded. The time for those conversations had passed. Amber gave birth to a healthy baby girl she named Lily. She sent me a picture with a simple message. "Thank you for helping me start this new chapter with truth as the foundation." We maintained a casual friendship, occasionally meeting for coffee or a walk in the park. There was nothing romantic between us, just the unique bond of two people who had weathered similar storms. The experience transformed me in ways I never expected. I learned to trust my instincts to recognize when something feels wrong rather than dismissing my concerns as paranoia. I established firmer boundaries in all my relationships, no longer afraid that asking for respect meant being needy. Perhaps most importantly, I discovered my own resilience. The betrayal that once felt like it might destroy me became instead a painful but valuable lesson. I learned that walking away from someone you love is sometimes the greatest act of self-love possible. Forgiveness came gradually, not as a gift to those who hurt me, but as a release for myself. I did not forgive to free Sophia or Jake from the consequences of their actions, but to free myself from carrying the weight of anger and resentment. I acknowledged what happened, learned from it, and chose to move forward without letting bitterness define me. The freedom I found in standing up for myself that night at 3 a.m. extended to other areas of my life. I became more assertive at work, more authentic with friends, more honest about my needs and feelings. The man who emerged from this crucible was stronger, wiser, and more self-assured than the one who had received that fateful text message. As I look toward the future, I carry these hard-won lessons with me. I am open to love again when the time is right, but I will never again compromise my self-respect for a relationship. Sometimes the bravest response to "come get me" or "we are done" is simply to say "we are done then." Have you ever had to make a difficult choice between what was easy and what was right? Share your story in the comments below. And if this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share to help others who might be facing similar situations. Remember that you always deserve better than betrayal, and the first step to finding it is believing that for yourself. Thank you for listening, and I wish you the courage to trust your instincts, just as I finally learned to trust mine.